Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. So I have my crystal ball off to the side. I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. Channel members, on Wednesday, you guys will have your next message, so definitely check that out. If you're interested in channel memberships, that link will always be in the description box below. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, I'm seeing like leaves, and I'm seeing these leaves shaking. They're shaking because there's wind. So there's something being highlighted right now about this wind through the leaves, and also sunlight. There's something about sunlight on these leaves. And okay, so the wind of change. So there's something about, there's something about change that's coming in that is being filtered through our personal perspectives. Okay, and it could lean positive, it could lean negative. It feels a little bit like a mixed bag for some of you. So this is bringing us into the threshold card. Okay, so the threshold card, leaving behind some sort of safety net or comfort zone. Notice how it looks like almost like a nest to go into the fire. Right, so to go into something that, because it's this red and orange and yellow, probably engages the lower chakras. So for some of you, this is going to be a place where you have to exhibit your own sovereignty or your own efficacy, or maybe some place where you have to start working your will in a particular direction. It's almost like the well-worn methods are not going to work, and someone is starting to understand that they have to be more effective inside of their life. That's the energy this is bringing me into. So it's that indrawn now becoming outward, where we're generating rather than just maybe percolating or mulling over. I can kind of feel this card speaking to people, especially if you are someone who, for example, maybe you think about doing things a lot but you don't actually do them. This may be a time period where you're getting ready to actually do something. Now here, this is being followed by the fault line, and this is an interesting card for me, and so I'm going to go into this and I'm going to explain this a little bit. When we have this sort of comfort zone and we're stepping into this energy that's being overlaid by this fault line energy, it means that there's certain things within that complex that are about to open up. They're about to shake loose. For many of you, this is going to be emotional lack. Not a lack of your own personal emotions. It's going to be a lack of reciprocal emotions, or it's going to be a lack of receiving any kind of emotional energy. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's highlighting this red, orange, yellow, right? Usually people will think their heart when they think emotions, and if you've been with me for a long time, you know that's not how I perceive the heart at all. When we get into this orange color, when you talk about like the sacral chakra, for example, what we're talking about is the inner child. And so this is the receiver of this emotional energy, especially if it's on a deeper psychic level. So there's something here that is cracking open within that complex. So for some of you, you may be doing some inner child work, you may be doing shadow work, because that's also inside that sacral chakra energy. You may be working on taking back your power from a particular situation, or maybe you never really felt that you had your own personal power, and you're learning how to craft that and design that in your world and inside of your life. Many of you are going to find that this is showing itself in root matters because of that red. That red is the first place where we're traversing. So it's by taking action. It's by facing that conflict. It's by going out and figuring out a stable home, a stable support system, a stable job, right? So very root-oriented, the things that ground us and root us. Now, the interesting thing about the cracking going on here, when those cracks appear, it shows us what's in the mud. It's the things that we couldn't see because they were coalesced and congealed. And it's only once that cracking begins, which is usually kind of scary, and it's not always the most pleasant experience. As it cracks, that's when you get to see what's been held there. So for many of you, you're coming into a time, or you've been experiencing a time where you've realized that you've been holding on to things inside of your life that you didn't need. Okay, this can include people. This can include, you know, certain social structures that you thought that you needed. For example, organizations that you might belong to. For some of you, this might be simply clearing out your closet and understanding that you don't need all that clutter, symbolically representing emotional baggage inside of your life. There's also this idea that once that true crack parts all the way, there's something that's been hidden and mysterious that becomes revealed. It opens up to the interior of the earth. And so this brings me into the energy of the cave card from this deck for that reason. And when we get into the cave card, what it always speaks to me about is the true aspect of self that we haven't recognized because it's buried so deeply. Most people don't realize that they bury themselves so deeply. And once they realize that and they start uncovering that and they start unfolding it, oftentimes people are very surprised by how far that journey goes, right? And so there's some aspect of self here that's trying to emerge and is ready to be seen, but it requires your cooperation by taking some sort of action to cross a threshold from your comfort zone. Okay. Whoever this message is for, you've been in a time of healing, maybe even a time out. If you're new to my channel, by the way, my readings tend to go inside of a long storyline of energy. And so if you joined us with the last video, because I know a lot of you subscribed after that last video, you may recognize this elements of that last video in this reading. So here what we have is we have this Four of Swords, and the Four of Swords is moving into the Devil energy. Really, I feel that these two are actually together because I was told to stop, and so this is our bottom card as our theme here, so we'll get to that. With these two paired together, what it means is someone took time to heal particular for some of you, you may interpret it as karma. Others of you, you may recognize that there's spaces within yourself that you're unhealed. For some of you, you're even going to have the awareness that this is what made me behave toxically. But some of you, it's healing addictions, right? Whatever it is, this is very much the negative shadow complex. It's the things within us that bind us to a particular set of behaviors and beliefs and patterns and actions inside of our life. And sometimes those actions are to take no action. And there's something about that going on here. We have this energy of stasis that is coming in, not just because maybe we've taken a time out for a little bit, but because it's actually implying that this has become a comfort zone. So it's someplace that we've been stuck for a little while. And some of you, this may not necessarily be, you know, isolating. It may not necessarily be stuck in your life. It could be stuck in a particular behavior that you've gotten very settled in and comfortable with, and you don't necessarily know how to release yourself from. This is what seems to have been happening for someone, and this is the work that someone has been doing. Now, the theme that's coming up is the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is success. So someone has successfully overcome whatever this is. Maybe it's even the pursuit of success that someone is trying to now achieve with this threshold moving into those lower chakras. There is something about finding a balance in different areas of our life so that we don't necessarily burn out. So if you are here from the last reading and you're somebody who's starting to move out of self-isolation, there is this energy of knowing how to expend your energy appropriately so that you don't burn out and then just hide for 7 years. And the reason why I'm saying that is because underneath this was the Two of Pentacles. And so it's that, how to even those and balance those pentacles so that they're not pulling each other up and down like this yo-yo effect. How to make it calm and smooth so that it's sustainable. There's something about sustainability that's very important as someone crosses this threshold. It does seem that whoever this message is for, that you have liberated yourself from something. And for some of you, I do want to say this, there is this habit of arguments or attracting very argumentative people. This is something that you are trying to free yourself from. Remember, people don't change. People are always going to be themselves. People are people. What changes is you. And so what you tolerate changes. The environments you place yourself within changes. So I think that someone here, you've learned a lot of lessons in terms of how to place your energy appropriately, where to show up, where to appear, where to connect, and when not to connect, and when to close the door. And this is very valuable for someone. Here, there's also something else coming through, though. This is also about being able to remove ourselves enough from this energy, okay, with that Star card, in order to stand in some sort of authority, authenticity, and truth. And when someone is stepping into the King of Swords, when this card had been present, this is very powerful, because what it means is that someone isn't letting the wool be pulled over their eyes. They're not willing to engage in petty behaviors anymore, and someone is really allowing themselves to stand above. I'm just going to say that. They're allowing themselves to stand above. And from this vantage point, it's almost like someone is looking down at the behaviors of maybe others, right? So maybe, for example, you came from a very toxic work situation, and now that you stopped engaging it, you're able to look at it and say, oh, wow, I can't ever believe that I gave this my time and my energy. Somebody's going through that right now. This is a higher perspective and a higher vantage point when we read the King of Swords in his most positive aspect. Okay. Oh. Oh, I love it. So the Fool pops out, and this, we'll read it later. All right, so the Fool pops out. Look at him. He's cute. He's a cute guy. And I know a lot of you have been asking me about these cards. I leave a list of cards in the description box, and I think this one's it's one of the last two, so check those out. This Fool is interesting because, I don't know, I get this feeling that like he has seen things, right? If you look at this guy, this is a guy who, let me tell you a story. He's been through the forest, and in the forest he's seen things, and he can't unsee these things. And all the things that he's seen inside this forest, you know, he may have even had some friends that got eaten by the toad, Mr. Toad in Mr. Toad's kingdom. All the things that he's seen, they have actually lightened him up. Right? So he may have gone through a period where he had grieving, where he had mourning, where he had things he had to work through. But eventually he came back to the beginning. The Fool is really not the first card in the tarot like most people think. It was originally, well, if you are a Rider-Waite-Smith person, it was placed just before the Universe card. And the idea is that the beginning is also at the end. And so this guy has come to the end, which is really his beginning. And in this new beginning, right, with this threshold card, whoever this message is for, you're finding that you have a lightening of spirit. So you're probably much less serious than you used to be. You're probably somebody who you have learned how to laugh at life a little bit more, sometimes because you got no choice. And there is this overwhelming feeling of being grateful. There's something that whoever this message is for, you're genuinely super grateful for. And I don't feel that it's something that others would look at and say, yeah, I'm grateful for that, but you've learned to be grateful for it, whatever that is. And it's almost this attitude that we step out into this energy with that is going to allow you to even have the bravery to peer into whatever this fault line is trying to present to you. This feels like a massive new phase where someone is healing something that they've been trying to get to for a very long time. And whether this is a lack inside of your life, whether this is a trauma that you've been trying to handle, there's something here that's starting to open up because now you're ready. You're ready to heal this. You're ready to work with this energy now. And I don't know, I just feel like there's so much to say about this Fool card. I'll show them like up close, and you know, you guys take a crack at it. Some of you are really good at like reading symbolism and stuff, and for those of you that aren't, like, you know, pause it, figure out what this card is saying to you. Take a notebook paper out and just like write anything. You know, he's got a V-shaped cap. What does that mean to you? It's red. You know, let yourself play, let your imagination play. Whoever this message is for, you've gotten better at that. You've gotten better at letting yourself trust your intuition and play around and not take things so serious and not second guess yourself all the time. You might still do that sometimes for some of you, but I feel that you're better than you used to be at it. And here we have the Five of Pentacles. Again, this is coming to a place of lack. This is where this keeps coming back inside this reading. So there's something here that we're trying to fulfill inside of our life. Maybe it's about success. Maybe it's about friends. Maybe it's love in general. Maybe it is a sense of stability. Whatever the case is, it's important to remember that this is highlighting the lower three chakras. So if you know about energy centers and chakras, that might be a little bit of a hint in terms of how to work with it for you. But there's this coldness that is present inside this energy that is beginning to warm. Okay, because this is the past energy. This is the energy that we're working on. This is where we're about to step. It's very fiery. It's very passionate and warm and driven. Okay, and then, and just to clarify that, the bottom of the deck, which is again our theme, is the Knight of Wands. And so remember, the first theme was the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is success. The Knight of Wands is someone who's very charming, very charismatic. He's always successful. He does, you know, anything he touches turns to gold. He gets whatever he wants. There's something here that is about being able to manifest through some sort of lack. And when we have the Knight of Wands, the only thing that we kind of have to watch out for is to make sure that it's actually what we want, right? The sustainability of something. So that's coming out again, the sustainability of something, because the Knight of Wands tends to change his mind. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, oh my god, my whole life is about this, and it's like, oh look, shiny. And you know, and that's not always a problem. That's not always a problem. Sometimes when we do that, we're allowing ourselves to play and to explore. Maybe for some of you that's what you're supposed to be doing. For others of you, you want to be a little bit more focused on sustainability. So just be aware if you start experiencing this energy. Okay, let's see. Where are we going? Where are we going? Going over here. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations. Fitting for the Threshold card. And Priestess. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Okay. So we have this birthing new creations, and then it moves into this Priestess card. What are you calling to? What are you being called to do? Right? Are you being called to lead? For some of you, that's the safety zone that you're leaving behind, is as the student, and now you may need to become the teacher/student, right? Because you're never fully just the teacher. You're the teacher-student, and others of you, this is about, you know, how do you take the lead in a particular situation? Maybe some of you, you have an opportunity to like become a boss or to become a supervisor in some area. And but there's definitely something about emerging from the self, emerging from the flock in order to embody this sort of leadership quality. And in order to do that, there is something here. It's almost like the gate that must be passed, right? There's something we have to see, and an energy that we have to work through that until we fully step over into whatever this is inside of your life. Taking the lead. For some of you, I do want to say this, that may just be taking the lead in your life. If you've been someone who you have this overwhelming feeling in your life, like you're waiting for something to happen or you're waiting for someone, sometimes we have to work through that energy to recognize that the only person that you're actually waiting for is yourself. So I'm going to leave this here. And whoever's message this is beautiful energy. I hope that if this resonates with you, please feel free to like this video. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.